In the last video, I modeled the scrolls, and now I've got them in the display case. And so far, the display case has its typical materials. I've just hidden the glass, and now I want to work on the scrolls. So I just brought this into a new project so I can just work on this stuff. And so we're going to get busy on this right now. So the other thing I just wanted to show you is I have put on materials. So I've just actually named materials. So I've called these scroll cylinder, I've called this scroll paper, this is scroll wood, and this is scroll stand. All right, so that's gonna allow me to use a separate UV map for each material. So for the stand, I'm just gonna come into edit mode, and I'm going to smart UV project with an island margin of 0.003. And I'm going to pack using UV Pack Master 3, but you could just use Blender. So that is done. I'm just going to hide that. So actually not that. Hide it so I don't forget. For the paper, I'm going to select it and just unwrap. And that should be fine as it is. And I'm going to hide that. For the scroll wood, I'm going to try Smart UV Project and see how that works. Do it like that and pack. And I'm going to hide that. Now for these guys, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to turn off the mirror for the time being so you can just focus on one of these. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put down some seams on this guy. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to select that middle edge, mark seam there, and the middle edge here, mark seam there. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Mark seam there. And let's get in here. This one here, right in the middle. Mark seam there. And then I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to come around, I guess, to the back of this. And I'm going to select one of these and Control E, mark seam there. Now, I want to do something special with the top and the bottom because I want to make it look like it's a bunch of paper sort of rolled around itself. And so what I'm going to do is in face selection number 3, I'm going to Shift Alt and click there, and I'm going to go Control plus one more to get out to my seam. So I've got all of that down to the seams. And I'm going to right click I'm going to press U, and I'm going to choose Light Map Pack. And I'm going to switch the image size to 1024 and click OK. And I'm going to select it and I'm going to I'm going to press U, follow active quads. And now I have something straight. I'm just going to move that out of the way. And that is going to help me with putting the concentric circles. Now I did something similar to this, I believe, when I made either a wagon wheel or a ship wheel, on like a pirate ship, in order to get the grain to go around. I'm not going to be doing grain, I'm going to be doing something else, lines going around. And this is a way that I found that was pretty easy to do. So I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Shift Alt to click these faces, Control plus U, Light Map Pack, and then select it all, and I've already got one selected there, so again U, follow active quads. Take that one and just move it out. So now between the two of them, if I select there and Control plus, I've got the two of them there. Okay, now actually I should leave that selected because then I can go Control I to get the rest of it and just U unwrap, and I'll get this for the rest of it. So if I select it all, this is what I've got. Now the outside is going to be visible, but the inside you'll like never even see. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to scale that down like so small it's not even funny. I'm going to go Control I and get the round. I didn't get all of this. And okay, let's do that again. So maybe I have to come up one more. Yeah, I gotta come up one more. I missed that little bit. Let's do Control. There we go. All right, now if I control I should get that and that. So the outside is relatively important, but I'm still going to shrink that down. And we'll try it like that. I'm going to take these two guys, I'm going to rotate 90, scale them down a bit, and just bring them in. And we'll select everything, and I'm going to pack. I'm going to turn off rotation enable. Okay, what I would like, I think I'm going to want these separated a bit. So I'm going to control L and GY, and I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to take this GY, and I'm going to move it. I just want a little bit of room in between. And now I can take these, in particular this one. Let's move that over there, so I can just grab all of this. So I'll pull that back down to there, the inside. Now I can take this and I can make it as big as I possibly can. And it's a little crooked, so I think I'm going to straighten it just the old-fashioned way. I'm going to take this, and we'll do SX0, and this one SX0 scale in the X. That's SY, SY0, and SY0. Select that one and control L, and then we'll do follow active quads, and it pretty much straightens it out. Pretty much, wasn't quite, but that's okay like that. All right, so slash key, nope. What is it, Alt H to bring all that stuff back, and I can turn the mirror back on. All right, so I should have it all packed in its own separate UV, all with its own material. So that's good, and we are now ready to export that as an FBX and bring it into Substance Painter. Okay, here we are in Substance Painter, and I have baked the mesh maps, and I've got my materials down here. So let's start with something nice and easy, say the stand, and I'm going to come over here to my Smart Materials, and I'm going to put a wood on there. So I'm going to search for wood, and I'm going to scroll down, and let's bring that up a bit. I'm going to use a wood that I think I've used before, that I created, this Wolfenstein wood when I did some Wolfenstein models. We'll try that wood. I'm just dropping it on using Smart UV Project, and it's looking relatively decent. So we'll just do a couple things. We'll add a little bit of dirt on top of that. So color and roughness, the roughness up, the color will bring down, and we're just going to use the dirt generator. And we'll just get some dirt in around where that joins in there, a little bit of dirt, and that's going to be probably fine for what I need. Let's put some edges on here. So I'm going to choose color, black mask, and a generator, and we'll try just the metal edges and see how that works. It's going to drop it quite far down, and we'll try this. So there's just the slightest bit, so it's almost like a stylized wood, and that's all I need to do. I mean, this is going to be inside the display case, and the closest we'll probably ever be is like that through glass, all right, with all the lights and other stuff to distract you in the background. So that's going to be fine for that. So let's just leave that. Like I said in my vlog, I think this was going to be a simple one. Let's do this scroll wood next, and that's also going to be simple. I'm going to try this wood stylized that I've got, which I think I made. And I want this to be distinguishable from the stand, so I'm thinking of going with that. And Smart UV Project seems to have done an okay job for this, and so I've got that. And now I'll try a couple of things. We'll try some dirt on here, the same way. And that's going to put it here and there just to darken it up a little bit. We'll do the edges. Just with white, a black mask, generator. We'll try this one. just want a little touch of white here and there. And that's fine with me like that. Okay, so far so good. Maybe we can do some other dirt with cloud texture. Let's just try it. Let's do another fill, and let's do color and roughness. Let's bring the roughness up quite a bit. Let's try maybe a dark brown or a different shade of brown. I just want to see how this blends in. The black mask, fill, and let's choose over here. Let's do clouds. Clouds 2. And let's turn it on and off. And, just throw something in there. I just want to try if I go for like a green kind of color, how much we're going to see that. Kind of like that. All right, I'm going to leave it like that. That's all I'm going to do for those scrolls. Could do some scratches. That actually might be good. I'm just going to call this grunge. We could try scratches. Let's do a fill with color and height. Let's leave it white for now. Drop the height down. Put a black mask, a fill, and in here, let's reset that and search for scratches. And just use this bottom one here so you can see this white. And I actually like the white, but maybe that's just me. I'll just drop this down and we'll see about just using that. Now I can up the resolution if I want in a bit. I want to get onto this paper stuff. All right, so right now I got this white. I'm going to come to the scroll cylinders, and I'm going to add a fill layer. Open that up, and I don't think I'm not going to use opacity, which I happen to be turned on, or metallic, or probably normal. But I'm going to drop something in this base color. I'm going to use. I'm just going to use an old paper texture from the internet. So I'm going to find this if I can. So I'm going to come over to textures and paper and just search for free paper textures. And I've got this parchment one here, and it's rather large, so that's good. I'm going to try that. I'm going to bring that in as a texture, just to the current session. So there it is. I'm going to drag it into the base color of those. And it's mirrored, so you're going to get the same thing, but that's okay with me. I'm going to bring the roughness all the way up, and I don't want to do too much other stuff on here. I think I'm going to like that. Now I'll show you another one though, just so that we can experiment. Let's try this. This is from Indie Ground Vintage Paper Texture. Let's just treat that. That one's a little pink to me, but let's see. Let's try that and drag that in. Not to there, but into the base color. You know, it's also nice, and you could play with this. You could add an HSL filter. You can play with the hue. I'm not going to. Maybe a little bit less saturated. I mean, that's not bad either. If I was to take this and copy it and put it on here as well, just to get a sense of what it's like there. All right, but I think I still like that one, and potentially without that, and get rid of that there. Let me come back to here and put that in there. I just want to show you an alternative to that paper, and that is coming over here. What I may decide I prefer even more than that is to come in here and search for paper, and I've got this paper. You may or may not like this, but I like to come in here and I like to actually get rid of the folds as just a base paper, and it's got some dirt, and so that's also a good paper there. I guess you can see I'll get rid of the folds there. And if I decide to add a little bit of dirt to this, we'll try the usual way. Just it'll mostly go in the corners there, and that's kind of where I would want it anyhow. And let me just take this and see if it becomes a little bit too much on the cylinder. So we're going to hide that. No, I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to put that on there. And that'll go down into the bottom, and that's fine. And this may be what I go for with a little bit of mottled appearance on it. Let me show you the circles here. Let's get rid of that for the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want these concentric circles. I'm going to add a paint layer, and I'm going to use probably just height. I'm going to drop this down. I'll drop it down all the way. Switch over to 2D and 3D to look at my UVs. And I'm going to come make sure I'm in the brushes. I want the basic hard brush. Make this pretty small. And let's just try holding Shift and Control and drawing a light with height through there. And you can see what that's done there. So let's make it a bit smaller. And I'm going to draw 4 or 5 straight lines by holding Shift and Control. Looks like I'm going to get 4. Like that, to simulate the rolled paper. And I'm going to do the same on the bottom. It doesn't have to be exactly even. You're not going to look at the top and the bottom at the same time. No, I think I'm going to redo those. Do a little bit closer to there. There. 3 and 4. And let's come back over here and put the dirt back on. Actually, let's go back to 3D and put everything back in, and that's what you get. Now, I may stick with this paper as opposed to the more crazy paper. Let's have a look. That looks a little bit, yeah, I think I'm going to stick with that because it's going to be in the display case. All right, so what I want to do next is I want to add some text on here. All right, so I'm going to just focus on the paper itself, and I'm not going to be able to snap exactly to the view I want, so that's fine. I'm going to add a paint layer, and I'm going to use just color, and it's going to be dark, almost black. All right, and I'm going to import a graphic that I found, and that's going to be in here. No, it's not. Where is it? I'm going to bring this in as an alpha to the current session. There it is. So it's Hebrew, so it fits the theme very nicely. I'm going to try 130. And no, maybe even more. You could try that. Click that in there, and let's bring everything else back. And I've got that. I think that's going to be just fine for what I need to do. We can try this with a different lighting. Okay, just to give you different ideas of what it could look like. I'll go back to panorama for now. Yeah, just a simple prop in there. And so what I'm going to do is make sure that's saved. I don't even think I'm going to up the resolution on any of these things. I don't think it's necessary because I will not be any closer than that. But let's get those textures in there. So let's go to export textures, and I'm going to export all of these. I'm going to use PBR metallic roughness, and I'm going to put those in this folder that I've got set up. All right, so it's Ancient Wisdom Scroll Video Test. All right, let's get those materials in here. Let's make sure that's scroll cylinder. Got that one in there. Let's make sure that's scroll paper. We got that in there. We got scroll stand, and this is scroll wood. Let's add that one. Scroll wood. So we've got our materials in there. Let's bring that back. And there's the glass, right? Let's hide the glass for the moment. And we will have a look at this now. The scrolls are in there. Let's put the glass back on. And for the moment, that's what that looks like. And I'm just going to take this, look from the front, and just center it a little bit more with respect to that. And then what I would really need to do, I guess, is let's see, hide the glass, put some lights in there. I will have other lights in here anyhow. Let's switch this to use scene lights. You get a bit of extra light in there. And I may clean up this glass as well. Yeah, let's see. If I don't have that, okay, and I can do that so it doesn't have reflections off there. So I can turn down the specular, and we can do whatever. Let's try. Maybe 100, and have it in front of the text. And then that'll all be affected. I may do a little bit of work on the glass, by the way, for letting more light come through. All right, and of course we can play with this stuff. All right, but that's the scrolls now inside the display case, and you can see the text and you can see the wrappings. All right. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that for now, and we're going to move on and do some other work. All right, take care.